Hey everybody, it's Kubas here, back with the next project. This, I guess helps if I actually turn my camera the right way, is my 1967 Gottlieb Super Score. So, no fancy story about this one, just met a guy, or talked to a guy in seminar on Craigslist about this, and many other machines. Paid $400 for it, plus $100 for shipping it down here. And yeah, this is looking to be the next project. So, as per the norm, let's go ahead and just work through the machine. Look at everything I've noticed so far. So first of all, right off the bat, you're going to notice from here and on top, a lot of the cabinet paint is completely gone. There's also delamination issues here, but I'll get to that when I get to the back box. But from the front here, you can see that there's a lot of cabinet wear. It's also probably apparent there's a decent amount of rust on the outside. And I specify the outside because the inside is relatively clean in comparison. This side isn't too bad, so... Oh, and also, of course, there's nails here, screws here, screws there. So this cabinet might as well be held together with silly glue at this point. It needs to be clamped down and properly... Come on, camera, focus. There we go. It needs to be properly clamped down and glued, which is what we're going to be doing after we get the Playfield done. This whole cabinet is going to be repainted, make up some stencils, fix all the delamination. That'll be a fun project. So now, let's go ahead and start looking at the Playfield. Now, I've already kind of started cleaning this thing. I haven't stripped it yet, which I'll explain why in a sec, but I have been experimenting with cleaning it. I've been using mainly just magic eraser right now, getting some of the finer ball swirls and other stuff out. So, gives us some close shots here. You can see this is the main issue where a lot of the wear is, and there's more up near the top here. So for the age 1967, this isn't bad, like all things considered. But this isn't good enough for me, especially because you notice right here we're completely missing the 5, and there's supposed to be 50 there. That's gone as well. So I think what we're going to be doing is once we get everything stripped down and we get it cleaned, we're going to be getting frisket, and I'm thinking we're going to try repainting the white, like all of it. Which you really look at the Playfield, there isn't too much. There's white here, a little bit here, and then various amounts around this area here. It's actually not too much. And with the exception of the swirls, like the curve here, it's mainly straight lines. So I'm thinking we might be able to get away with just frisketing off all the non-white and just repainting the white, solid white, and then using water slide decals to redo all the lettering, make the lettering look all sharp. Same thing with the Gottlieb logo here, just do this part white and then re-put the logo in. And I think that would look really good. And then obviously there's pop bumper wear. You know, the norm. Overall, this Playfield I'm quite happy with. I don't think it's going to be too bad. Color matching is ultimately going to be the deciding factor on how far we take it. Alright, so other things I've noticed is apparently this just comes off. Not really sure how that works. I'll figure that out later. There's a little bit of rust around here. These plastics are filthy. But nothing that so far I haven't cleaned up. Interesting thing about Super Score is this one has a roulette wheel on it. It looks to be in good shape. Again, just dirty. I'm curious how much we're going to be able to clean up that plastic. I don't know if we're going to be able to get many of the scratches out, but I'll do the best I can. The flippers are also... Actually, most of the paint on, like anything, like on the pop bumpers, on the flippers are worn. Interesting thing about this game is that it has 4 sets of flippers, and each pair are tied together. So, left flipper operates these two, right flipper operates these two. Really interesting game, actually. Alright, so that's kind of the general overview of the Playfield. So give me a sec, I'm going to lift the Playfield up. Alright, Playfield's up. Let's start from the bottom, I guess, and work our way up top. First of all, inside the cabinet, coin door looks relatively normal, nothing fancy. Kind of interesting. on these 60s Gottlieb, this was the flipper mechanism that hid switches underneath the Playfield. Kind of the weird setup, if I do say so myself. Going down into the bottom piece, hopefully there's enough light here so that you can see what I'm looking at. First of all, there's this thing right here. This is how to release the Playfield on this one. There's a bar, this bar right here. You have to pull it. This releases the clamp, and that releases the Playfield. This is probably the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Not because, I mean, it's not a horrible system, but there's a lot of tension on these springs. It might just be because these springs are all rusted here, and maybe I can get new springs and make it a little easier. But those springs are under so much tension. It's like, it actually makes it kind of difficult to lift the Playfield up. But unfortunately, the normal locking mechanism, which you can see, normally this unlocks and unlocks the Playfield. All this does is unlock and lock in the lockdown bar. I don't know if this lifting bar was a normal thing for this era, but I don't like it, and I'm glad this didn't catch on, because this is stupid. Something else you might also notice is that everything has like a bronzed look to it. According to the guy I bought this from, that's normal for this era. It wasn't until around the 70s that Gottlieb started going to that stainless steel look that we are all familiar with. Which is good, because if you look at the big bar down here for reference, there's not too much rust on it. Score motor. Seems to be spinning freely. A little more resistance than on Hot Shot, but that's because there's so many more switches. I haven't actually taken the thing up and had a look at the motor itself, see how it's doing. Main banks of relays. Haven't really had a look at any of these yet. Nothing out of the ordinary, at least from what I can tell. This one at least has, even though you can't see it because I don't have a light on. Let me see if I can get it from this side. It has a knocker. Yay! Would have to spend $50 on a new knocker. And then this is the main, again, if I can get light, main reset bank. Much smaller on this one than it is on Hot Shot. And you can't make it out, like I can kind of see that there's markings there labeling the relays. I might see if I can add my own. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this thing up in the service position. We'll have a better look at the underside of the Playfield. Alright, this thing's up in the service position, so let's go from there. Hopefully, there we go. Starting from the top here, these are actually the flipper switches right here. These things right here. Again, kind of a weird design. This is the motor that actually spins the roulette. From what I can tell, it appears to be spinning. Look at this. Oh, come on, light. There we go. Look at the size of the little armature on this one. It's massive. It's cool. I like it. As you can see, you see how the flipper mechs here are kind of tied together. This is a weird setup. It's one coil operating both flippers like this. And as you can see, probably from how much stress this poor little flipper was under, these things are slightly toasty. My own meter still owned these things out as good, so the coils are good. But I'm probably going to swap them out to maybe an orange dot or maybe a yellow dot coil, just because it's operating two instead of one, so it might help make the gameplay a little snappier. Working our way down. Interesting. Oh, just noticed this. The kicker holes are apparently tied together. That's an interesting design. Kind of like that, actually. Alright, continuing to work our way down. We got our main pop bumper mechs. These are probably all going to need to be rebuilt. Funnily enough, this one's stainless steel. This looks like a replacement. I wonder if the original broke or something. Maybe I'll see if I can find an original bronze style just so it all matches. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. I've noticed that a few of these coils are missing their wrapping paper, which I don't think is the end of the world, but probably just to be safe, I'll swap them out. And I can't tell if that's burnt or dirty. I'll have to take my own meter to this one. I think it's just dirty. Secondary set of relay banks. Nothing too fancy to report here. That's spaghetti wiring if I've ever seen it at its finest. And then some few other relays down here. And then the dead bumper switch down there. Honestly, nothing too fancy. Nothing too, I guess I could say catastrophic, I could say here. These flippers are going to be a little awkward to rebuild because these links don't exist. Like, just to buy by themselves, so I'll probably have to fabricate my own. So, which isn't bad, but mild inconvenience. And no one likes a mild inconvenience. Interestingly enough, I can't tell if this is what the Playfield's supposed to sit on or what, but this is kind of a cool mechanism. It's actually a screw loose here and over there. I gotta look and see if that's actually intentional or not. I'm not sure. Also, something I forgot to mention, I think almost every single one of these fuses are wrong. Like, let's see what amperage this one is. Okay, I'm gonna actually see if I can find it here because I can't show it on my little camera, my phone camera. This is it's 250 volt. Where's the amperage on it? It is so worn I can't read the amperage on it. It's probably wrong though, knowing my luck. Because I checked all the fuses down here in the main fuse panel. By the way, tilt bob's missing, but whatever. All the fuses down there. I think they're all wrong because I found 215s and I think a 20. And I think maybe the coils operate on 10 amp, but I know for a fact the light circuits don't. And I know for a fact nothing in this machine operates on a 20 amp circuit. So I'm going to probably be looking at schematics, figuring out my fuses. Always fun because apparently a manual doesn't exist for this game, so I have to go by schematics. Not the end of the world, but yeah, mildly annoying. Alright, I think that covers everything of interest around here. Let's have a look at the Backbox. Revenge of My Phone Part 7. Anyway, as you can see, this game has a bell instead of a chime unit. Well, multiple bells. I think this is the 100 point. Hidden behind here, I believe that's the 10 point. And the 1 point bell is missing on this one because I believe on these older games, the 1 point bell is operated by an arm situated somewhere around here. That, as this is, but just as the match unit right here. I just have it down because I was playing around with it. As it's hopefully advancing, it activates an arm which hits the bell. It is missing on this one, and from what I've seen, some operators just did that. I can buy the parts from Pinball Resource, so I guess that's just one of those things that it was designed with that in mind. And I'm not tracking my camera properly. The stepper itself is, it's fine. Okay, let's hold my camera this way so I don't keep hitting the stop button. It's a little gummed up, as I can lift this thing up here and kind of... It is turning, but it doesn't feel free. I think a good cleaning will solve that mostly, though. I'm just going to leave that down for the time being. Main player unit. Interesting thing, despite the fact this is a Gottlieb multiplayer game, this isn't a continuous stepper. There's a coil here, but also if I can reach my finger in back here somehow, like this, here we go. You can see there's two coils. There's an advanced coil. Again, it's sticky. It probably just needs a good cleaning more than anything. Steps up to here, and it's a total reset stepper, which is fascinating. I didn't know Gottlieb used these on their multiplayer games. Maybe it was only for this generation. I'm not sure. I kind of like the continuous unit more myself, but whatever. I see there's quite a bit of rust in the back box here. This game doesn't have a back to it. I have to make a new one up, so it's going to be, excuse me. So I'm going to have to de-rust a lot of this. Credit unit is a little gummy, but seems to be working. Probably just needs to be worked free a bit. And score reels, I'm not going to take them out, but the same thing. They're a little bit gummy, but they do work up and free themselves as I use them. So they're not too bad. Now, if I can release the latch here without, hang on, I think, give me a sec. As I'm trying to say, if I release the latch and lower, here's everyone's favorite, the back glass. It's an okay shape. It's dirty. There's a little bit of paint flaking. I'm noticing some spidering from obviously just years of age. The major damage is down there in the corner where there's a good chunk missing. But it's not anything too major. I'm still probably going to get a new back glass made out just because I can see there's delamination and other charismatic issues there. Get a new one made out. Triple thick this one. Keep it as a wall hanger. Something like that. Give me a sec. I'm going to get the thing back up. All right, I kind of showed the front earlier, so I'm not going to go ahead and flip it around. It's a cool looking back glass, but I don't really have my room organized here right now, and it's a pain in the ass to turn around. So yeah, that was kind of just my general quick overview. Not super detailed this time, but this is going to be a fun project. The only thing I'm having trouble figuring out is how we're going to fix this back box, because as you can see, there's delamination up here, and the major part of it's over here, and there's a big chip missing from it, so I don't know. If we could somehow find a way to separate this top piece, it might be advantageous just to make a new top piece. But we'll see what happens. I'm going to have to take this whole insert out, which isn't too hard, but don't really want to do it. But it has to be done, and because we're gonna repaint this cabinet anyway. So yeah, thank you for tuning in for my 1 a.m. pinball machine expectorium, and I'll see you in the next progress update. Hopefully, when I have my the Playfield stripped and my spray booth set up. Have a good day.